Rob, many congratulations. A straight sets win. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, fantastic. You know, it's nice to get through, and look, that's the plan. You come every day. Sometimes it'll be pretty, sometimes it won't be. I think today was a big factor that I held myself at the right times, you know, and yeah, look, I'm really glad to get through, and gives me another chance and one step closer.
It's you've only dropped one set so far this tournament and another solid performance.
Right, don't rub it in. I didn't want to drop that, mate, to be honest, but I will, yeah.
It's good going. Where do you assess where you're at in this tournament? Because there might be another gear left.
I hope there's 3. No, look, I know I'm in a fantastic place at the minute, and I've not played my best in the tournament. I would say, I've been clinical in the important moments, and I think that's important. But yeah, I've not realistically hit them heights what I wanted to hit, and I can sit here and call me a liar, but look, to still sit here and not be at my brilliant best, then it says a lot, you know, and we got another chance to go out next time, try and put that right again.
And next up, you've got Luke Littler, the reigning champion. You might need to be at your brilliant best for that one. How do you feel ahead of that one? I
think I can take the game, no shackles, no thingies, no worries, you know. If I'm going to play that, I think, look, he's fantastic. Comes from a lovely family and a lovely boy, and I would say that. But at the same time, you know, the pressure ain't on me. What's it matter, you know? Rob Cross lose to Luke Littler, who cares? You know, that's the norm. That's the norm. So I can go up there, take them shackles off, and hopefully, I'll get a good tune out of myself.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Rob, congratulations. You talking like that, obviously you've been favourite for many of these opening round games, but going in against Luke will be the favourite. Do you like that? Like going back to the old school Rob Cross when you were the underdog and things like that?
I think I've spent life on the back foot, Phil. So I know what it feels like. I know how to battle. I know how to really, you know, sometimes, I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and not worry about it, but I had to do it. Otherwise, I didn't feed my family at the end of the week, and that become life for me for quite a long time, you know. And I think, look, it's a game of darts, and I've been blessed, and I'm pretty decent at it, and we can try and get the best out of myself, you know. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go to work, and, you know, all them things years ago what I used to moan about like a big baby, you know, now hopefully they might help me.
The way you're talking there is brilliant, and darts are such a simple game. Do we players, everyone, do we just overcomplicate how easy it can be?
I have to admit, I can complicate a game with myself because sometimes I can be complicated, you know. But when I'm uncomplicated and I've got one straight road, I feel like the Romans built it, actually, you know. It's a good road and old sturdy when I'm on. But what I would say, you know, it's nothing complicated. You're going to go up there, you're going to play a game of darts. I'm going to play potentially for £1 million, and even that don't matter, you know, because, we should go up there and we all want to win. It's all about doing the job and what's in front of you, and no matter what anyone dishes to you, then, you know, you have to do that job. But if I don't do it, I go home. It's very, very clear, you know. We all get good days, we all get bad days, but, hopefully it's going to be a good day.
We've seen improvement round by round from you. Do you feel you're now progressing in the right way and doing things the way you want it to? And how much of a step are you going to have to take from this one to the next one?
I think if we're going to talk about steps and stuff, I think the step's quite big at the minute. I don't think I've been at the races, but I'm still sitting there, which, like I said, I'm already grateful, but I know that game's there. I see it every single day. For some reason, it's just not quite happening where I want it to, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm on the toilet and I'm getting cold, if that makes sense. You know, I don't feel like sorry about this, but I don't feel like my arse is on the porcelain yet, you know. So we go out there, we'll enjoy it, and look, I've got nothing to lose. You know, it's an easy life when it's not complicated. Cheers, mate.
Well done, Rob. You say there's no pressure on you in the next game against Luke Littler. Do you think there's any pressure on him to perform against you?
Well, if we based it on the last 6 months, he'd do well to beat a Scooby. No, obviously it ain't the best 6 months. I don't think, look, it's always pressure, when you come back defending champion and stuff. And a couple of people actually texted me this week and they said, he played great last night. I never even watched it because I don't like to infuse myself with other people's work, you know. It's all about mine. But at the same time, look, you could call it pressure. Maybe if I win the first, second set or whatever, maybe there's pressure. But I think this boy's that confident. I don't think it comes down to that. It don't even enter his brain when he's winning 4-0, you know, and it shouldn't. There is no pressure, you know. The game's very simple. If you win the sets in front of you, you never really feel a bit of pressure, you know. So it's down to me to try and do the best what I can do, and I think if I do that, I could get close.
How is it for you coming back as defending champion, and do you think the mindset from him is any different to what yours was?
I think look, he's handled stuff 10 times better than what I did. 10 times, and we're two different people, I know, you know, two different ages at the times, and yeah, a bit like what I said in my last interview, you know, I've not just struggled for 8 years. It's not about darts. It's not. It's just normal life, you know. So I think in that sense, you know, if you're not quite used to it or whatever life dishes you, you know, and it was totally different when I won it. All the cameras went on me. I can remember when I come in, like 2017, and there was this big curtain up, and I could go behind this curtain. I was left alone. Davey didn't even like me then, but I love him now. But no, I could do all that, and then all of a sudden I went from nothing to a spectacle, you know, which he's dealt with better than me. I think that's fantastic, and he's only a young boy. He only knows darts in that way, you know, and I think doing all that stuff, yeah, it changed me, but I had to learn the hard way. And I've done that now, and yeah, there won't be no tears from me or anything, you know. I think sometimes you just got to suck it up and keep going, you know. Cheers, mate.
Rob, well done on the win. You said that Luke Littler has handled all of this a lot better than what you did. If you could go back knowing what you know in hindsight, how would you have handled things differently when you became world champion and was thrust into the spotlight? I'll
answer the question, but look, I would change a lot. I would, knowing what I know now. But at the same time, isn't that life, you know? Sometimes, yeah, you're blessed, yeah, and life picks you. You know, you haven't got that choice for that sort of whatever you've achieved or whatever. No one probably expected it, and I knew I was going to win it when I started in December. But at the same time, everyone looks at that, you know, that's not life. But yeah, life picks you. I think I'm a big believer in that, in a bit of fate and other stuff. And if I had to go back, I wouldn't change anything, because it makes me a person now, you know. I have to deal with that every day. I have to take control of that, and I think it makes you a better person when you can do that. So I wouldn't change anything, to be honest.
At the moment, I think it's safe to say that Luke Littler is the best player in the world, but you've beaten Michael van Gerwen at his best on that stage and then beat Phil Taylor. What's the difference between playing Michael van Gerwen on that stage and Luke Littler, because you've done both?
I'm not going to put the young man down, but look, listen, when Michael was in his pump, it wouldn't have been a runaway. It wouldn't have been a runaway. Look, I think I tipped me out. Best player I've ever played, sort of for times and everything, has been Michael. Best player I've sort of played in the other bit was Phil Taylor, obviously, for the final, because he's the GOAT to me. But at the same time, I think Michael's, and I think he's even expressed this, I don't want to put him down, but Michael's expressed that he isn't a player of what he was, you know, and I think everyone understand that. I don't even want to talk about him. You put me on the subject now, haven't you? But if you put Michael at his best, or around what he done for a 3-4 year period, I still think that you'd still sit there and be a bit crazy if you told me Littler won every time. You know, it's not like we haven't seen this stuff before. I remember when I was 15 and I watched Taylor. He won everything. You know, he had no competition, but he was class. And then you had Michael when it got a little bit better and everything was better, you know. And in his pump, he managed to magic stuff out of the skies, I think, you know. And now, we've got obviously Humphreys and all. I still put him in there. I think he's fantastic, but the Littler effect and everything, what we're seeing now, I don't think that. It's not like we've not seen it before, you know. We've seen people rule the game and cement their legacy and history, you know. And who's to say, probably in 3 or 4 years that you don't get another one. I think we're very, very short-sighted, if we didn't see another one, you know.
Brilliant, thank you, Rob. Well done today.
Cheers, mate.
Congratulations, Rob.
Cheers, mate.
Ahead of this game, were you fully set for a full 7 sets with Damon?
No, not at all. Not at all. I would say that I'm confident in myself, and I know this is Achilles' heel, but I always thought, I'd be good for the moments. I didn't think I was going to be that bad in some of the moments, but I knew I'd hold myself together and that'd be fine. And it's another game, where you give chances and they're not taken. And don't get me wrong, it was a bit better today. I actually felt really comfortable at times. I think if I hit that last set, I've left. I can't remember what I left now. I was on for 11 and 12. If I go and hit that, then this game over anyway. It would have been a bit more comfortable, but just enjoying it, just doing all that stuff. I don't think my game's in a bad place, and I expected to win today. You asked me that 6 months ago or 3 months ago, I would have told you. I said, you got a coin on you, we're going to go for a spin.
And was it the old saying, right things at the right times, because you pounced to go 2 sets up, and then you hit the 180 at the crucial time to set up going 3 sets up? Was it slowly but surely breaking Damon's heart?
Well, that's what darts is. I think I know we all come back to that saying and stuff like that, but that's what darts is. If you've got someone was playing darts and they're playing well, and sometimes you ain't even got to play well. You just a good backhand, and if you can have a good backhand, you can hit 250 in 6 or whatever, and then it's happy days. You're going to win legs. So I've been good at it. I've made a living out of the back end of the game and stuff. Can't sit here and say that I'm the most prolific scorer in the world. Mind you though, I played what I mean today, 21. I hit a load of 180s and 177s, and then I was still looking for my grandmother today up there, but it's fine.
And that's 3 afternoon session matches in a row for you at this Championships. Do you prefer going under the radar?
Yeah, look, I think I've been asked this question before, and they go, maybe a couple of years ago, and they say to me, you don't get evening, you don't get this, you don't get that. And it's a game of darts and it's a job. And what I would say, and I think I answered this the same way years ago, put me on wherever. I'll play out in the car park, I don't care. It's not important to me. In life, I've never really been the spectacle, and I believe that, so... Never been a spectacle and never wanted to be. But at the same time, anywhere, wherever a game of darts out in the car park is fine.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.